Welcome to Play Strip, everybody. Tommy T here with my buddy Sal the Bookmaker and Stevie Slapshot. Today's show is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind for less than $1 a day. Legal Shield will help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, and even contracts given to you that you just don't understand. Plus a whole lot more. Call Legal Shield right now at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Again, 213-245-1305. Or visit them online at nocourt.us. Steve, quit playing around with the phone.
Hey, don't worry about
that. The phone doesn't work.
Don't worry about that.
The phone doesn't work. It's a myth. We can't get calls on this show.
Yeah, we can get calls on the show. It's just you don't know how to run the board.
We can't get
That's
calls.
the problem. No,
you don't run the board. That phone doesn't work.
No, the phone does work. In fact, I'll prove to you the phone does work.
What is that? Was that how the clap
Caller,
sounds?
identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Rashad Phillips.
Rashad, weren't you the number 3 from Detroit Mercy? Isn't that you?
Yes, that's me.
Aren't you
that's me.
the guy that didn't you win a Naismith Award as well?
Yeah, I did.
Yes,
I did.
That you did. All right. So here, Tommy T's over here with me. I'm Sal the Bookmaker for everybody listening live on 1400 here on KSHP in fabulous Las Vegas. And Tommy T over here doesn't believe that we could actually take calls. You know why? Rashad, he doesn't know how to work the board. There's the problem.
Well, we've never gotten a call before.
I got the secret. I have the secret code. That's what it was. I used my secret code.
I think you're right. So you were one hell of a basketball player, weren't you?
I was not too bad. I wasn't too bad.
Well, Tommy T's a big basketball guy, and I know he'll probably have a couple of questions for you. He's searching high and low on his phone right now. He's trying to figure out what I should ask you. Not me, but him. He's saying, what should I ask? What should I ask?
No, I'm sorry. Hey, Rashad, how are you? Thank you for calling in. Anyone that plays Division I college basketball is an excellent ball player, so there's no doubt in my mind. I'm just trying to figure out, is Detroit Mercy the same University of Detroit that Dick Vitale coached at back in the 70s?
That's correct.
It is. Okay. So they call it Detroit Mercy now, but back then they used to call it just the University of Detroit. Is that how it went?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so that's the first connection I make. I always tie everything back into the history. What years did you play at the Detroit Mercy?
97 to 2001.
Okay. Right. All right. And then what conference were you in then? Were you in the Horizon Conference or the Missouri Valley?
It was called the MCC, and then it switched over to the Horizon League.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for calling in. So obviously, Rashad, you're friends with Sal the Bookmaker, right?
Well, Rashad's been on he's been on the Sports Circus before, and he's doing his own radio show and podcast. Hey, tell everybody about that real quick.
Yes, I have my own YouTube channel. It's called Sports Talk 2319, and where I specialize in draft prospects, and also I cover the landscape of college basketball.
All right.
This is great. Well, you already sound like a total professional. So you cover the landscape of college basketball, and maybe Sal asked you to call in here because I've been bagging on college basketball recently.
He says it's the worst thing ever.
I mean, that you can't bring a college basketball player on and then throw my words back up.
It's not just a college basketball player. It's a guy with a retired number in the rafters. Yeah, no, so this guy has done it. He's a draft guru on top of it.
Yeah. So Rashad, listen, I'm like
yes. He's tongue-tied.
I grew up in the Big East era in the 80s when the Big East was first formed, and to me that was college basketball's heyday. That was the actual peak of college basketball. The Big East back then, the ACC with the Duke, North Carolina State teams. But I mean, every single night there was a great game in the Big East in the 80s.
Yeah, but now you're saying that college basketball stinks, and I'm here to tell you that Rashad will tell you otherwise.
Okay, well, I'm not going to argue with this professional. Listen. You're good at arguing. You can't tell me that the second national championship game that Butler played in against UConn wasn't the worst game in history. That game threw basketball back 50 years. They should have played it with a peach basket. I'm sorry. That was a horrible game. I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous.
It was a terrible game. And you're talking about one of the biggest college basketball fans, and I had to turn that game off at halftime. Yeah, but I couldn't handle it.
Now you hate college basketball, and I don't know why.
I hate it. It's just
I don't know why. What's your deal? Here, you got to realize that here's a guy that's with us right now that knows the draft well. He knows the players well. He knows the teams well. He knows it better than you and myself and anybody else in this building combined. Wouldn't you agree, Rashad?
Yeah, I would like to know what bothers you in regards to college basketball of today.
Okay, well, so the great team this year is Duke, obviously, right? They got Zion and they got the other freshmen. Now next year they're all gone. They're not going to be there next year. It's going to be an entirely new team. And and some of the things about college basketball that bothers me is like people like John Calipari gets blamed for the one and done while he's had nothing to do with it. He didn't make the rule. He's not taking advantage of any rule. He just basically for years he's been recruiting 4 or 5 new guys every year, and then they go to the pros, and he's been criticized, I think unfairly. So of course, Coach K is a great coach. Mike Krzyzewski is another great coach, and so he's getting great players. I mean, the one championship when he beat Wisconsin a few years ago, I think he did it with I don't know if he had Okafor, Tyus Jones was on that team, but after that season, they all left. And but Coach K doesn't get criticized the same way as Calipari.
But buddy, they have to reload every season. Go ahead, Rashad.
Well, it seems like your issue is with certain schools. It seems your issue is with Duke, Kentucky, but you do know there's 351 Division I basketball teams in college. So if you just focus on Duke and Kentucky, you're missing something that's really amazing. How about a kid tonight? The game just ended. A kid named Ja Morant from Murray State. He's going to be a top 3 pick this year. He just had 26 points and 18 assists tonight. So if you dig and you cover the landscape of college basketball, you will see that there's so many bright players that are being overlooked on a night in and night out basis because we as general are so focused on just the blue blood schools, whereas there's other players and other coaches and other institutions that are actually playing a good brand of basketball.
Right. And you know what, Rashad, one of the teams, I love the little schools. Absolutely love the little ones. I mean, my graduate school, my law school, was Loyola of Chicago. I'm very happy to see them go to the Final Four last year. But so far this year, I've been really taking a hard look at some of these little schools, kind of like NJIT, right? Those guys had the they had the nation's longest losing streak. For years and years, those guys couldn't seem to win, but now they find themselves at the top of the conference. It's nice to see a little bit of change, some change in the guard. Yeah. We're seeing some recruiting that comes out. And you know what? These kids are staying for 3 or 4 years on top of it. That's what I like about it. How about parity? How about a big round of applause for parity in the NCAA ranks? I love that.
Absolutely.
And Tommy doesn't like the fact that I pay attention to these little schools.
No, I mean, NJIT is great. I like it that you know those little stories. And I do pay attention to some of the other programs, not just the Blue Bloods. I'm aware that Wichita State over the last 5 or 6 years has been at the top of college basketball. They've been ranked in the top 10, the top 20.
More than 5 or 6 years, man. They've been around for a long time.
No, but I mean, just recently, they've been fortunate. They've had veteran teams. I mean, they've had guys that stay 3 and 4 years, and those teams, they actually can take on the Blue Bloods, and that's what happened. I mean, a few years ago, didn't Stetson beat Duke in the NCAA tournament?
Well, you're talking a one-off game, though. What
I'm referring to is I'm aware that these programs that do keep. Right. They keep their kids there for 3 and 4 years.
Northern Iowa.
Let me finish. They keep their kids there for 3 or 4 years, and then what ends up happening is you have continuity. You have a real team. So when they take on a Duke or they take on a Kentucky, they can beat those schools. I like that. That's great. I like those programs. It's just that I don't know, something is missing with college basketball. They reassembled all of the conferences too, which I'm not happy with.
Well, that's not the kids' fault, though. We're talking as if there's the kids. The kids are innocent in this. I think the issue that you may have is with the management and how they handle college basketball. And obviously, we know the elephant in the room here is that it's about money.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, these kids come from humble beginnings. They come from all walks of life. And all they're trying to do is play the game that they love, and that's basketball. So, when you get to college, you only have 4 years to prove yourself. When you get to the blue blood schools, you usually only have 1 year to prove yourself, which puts a lot of pressure on these kids like a Zion and a R.J. Barrett, because what if they don't pan out? then these kids are missing out on their education as well. So there's a lot of factors that go into being a Division I basketball player, and I think sometimes it just gets overlooked because we're so caught up in the facade of everything that it presents. But when you pull back the curtain a little bit, you're going to see a lot more that needs to be respected and brought to the forefront.
Now, Rashad, you've been featured on numerous television shows, whether it's on this network or that network, and everybody knows you as one of those draft gurus, right? Because you certainly know
correct.
A lot about the game. What has been your biggest success as a draft guru on, whether it was on ESPN or Fox or whatever, what do you really believe was the turning point on your broadcasting side? Because you're really damn good at it.
Yeah, thank you. I just think there's been it's been a build-up over time that I've been able to find those so-called diamond in the rough type of players across college basketball. Like I brought up earlier, Ja Morant from Murray State. I was a person who identified him a year ago. Now he's on every draft website, known the man as a top 5 pick. But a year ago, nobody knew who he was, and I was the person who discovered him and kind of said, hey, look, there's a kid at Murray State named Ja Morant that's going to be a top 10 pick. And right now they got him going in the top 3 in the draft. So I've been able to do that for about 5 or 6 years via my social media and other outlets. So I've been able to garnish a lot of attention from huge TV stations like ESPN and Fox Sports and so have you. So it's been great just, shedding light on how many wonderful players there is out there that don't go to Blue Bloods, but nothing against the Blue Blood schools, because I still like those kids as well. Obviously, my relationship with Trae Young, with the Atlanta Hawks, and my evaluations on DeAndre Ayton and a lot of other players have also taken shape around the country as well.
Right. Now, when you were playing, just in our last couple of minutes now, there were comparisons of your skills to some pretty notable stars from the NBA as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's the most significant one out of all of them?
I think my jump shooting. I think the way that the game is played today is all about spread offense, and is all about players that can actually make the long range jump shot. And 20 years when I was in college, when I was making those long range jump shots, it was kind of taboo when I was doing it then. But now everybody, they look at it and say, if we can put you in a time machine and put you in today's game, Rashad, you will be a top 10 pick because your style of play. Unfortunately, I was, back then it wasn't celebrated. The long 3-pointers, the dribbling through the legs, the flamboyant style of play wasn't celebrated 20 years ago as it is today.
Right. That's kind of what happened to the Professor, from the AND1 tour, the street ball. And I had Professor on the other show a couple of weeks ago, and we had a very similar dialogue. The guy had mad skills. He still has mad skills. But at that time, they weren't looking for that. So he went undrafted, right? And then he ended up going through the pro ranks with, the private touring organizations. And he's still out there doing it today. So let's face it, there is another path. If you're not going to the NBA, there is another path. And you're at least the guy that I know that can identify which players will go the right path through the NBA, and you can analyze as to where and why they will go somewhere. All right, so here in the last minute, tell everybody how to get a hold of you and plug your social media and so forth.
That'll be great. Thank you. My Twitter account is RP3Natural. You can see my tweets on there. I tweet daily about players, prospects, schools. I have interviews with NBA players. My last interview last week was with Kawhi Leonard, which was a great interview with him because he doesn't do one-on-one interviews with anybody, but he did one with me. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Sports Talk 2319, where I drop a show maybe once or twice a month. I can be reached on Instagram as well at Rashad Phillips, RP3.
Okay, big round of applause for Rashad. Thanks for joining us today. Here, place your bet, and we'll talk to you real soon. And thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it. All right, folks, we'll be back here in just a few minutes on Place Your Bet. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, just want to talk a little basketball, right? That's all. And he knows how to work the board, and that's why he's here.
Yeah, no, it was great, but I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I mean, he was a very well-spoken guy.
Well, he knows his stuff. really knows his stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy's on TV with all the big names. He was compared one-on-one with Kobe in a lot of comparisons. And I saw the specials on TV.
Yeah.
They called me and asked me if Rashad can be on the circus.
How old is he?
Small guys, like 5'7", 5'8", 5'7". He's a little guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a mad shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so that's why he was saying that he came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, and he he is a Naismith recipient. I mean, that doesn't just happen on accident either.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real good player, but he runs academies. There's a lot that he does.
Guy.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. And he came to me through the people at the like Women's G League, the NLBA, right? So that's how he and his people got a hold of me.
Yeah, so he went undrafted. He was 5'9" and a quarter. He wasn't super small, but that's too small.
That's tiny, yeah.
Now, so he played though. He played in Europe.
Yeah.
Perth. He played in Australia. Macedonicus, I guess that's Greece. He played up until 2009. That's for Legal Shield. Two-time NCC Player of the Year. Holy crap!
Yeah. That's pretty significant.
Oh, he won the Francis Pomeroy Naismith Award. Oh, yeah. God, that's great.
Yeah. So I mean, he's an accomplished guy, and when you're the NCAA Player of the Year twice, something tells me you're probably pretty good.
He was really good.
Yeah. And his height was what got him undrafted.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Yeah, he wasn't tall enough. Imagine that. So I figured we'd have a guest on, something because you like basketball. That's perfect, right? Talk a little basketball with him.
Very well-spoken guy.
Yeah, he certainly knows his stuff. Yeah. I hope everybody watching on Facebook Live enjoyed that as well.
Rashad Phillips, Sports Talk 2319.
Or call at 657-600-1870.
Yeah, he speaks well.
That's American Business Trust Company.
Well, he's also been trained by everybody so he could speak on Fox and ESPN and all those others too. So he got some training, but he also went to college too. He went to a good school. I know, for me to say Detroit good school, the fact is, look, there are certain things you have to get past, and all the kidding aside, there are certain things.
The best player never drafted.
Right.
That's some quotes.
Yeah. And that's by Kobe. That's pretty impressive.
Kobe, yeah. Because Kobe would recognize a player.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Kobe recognize a player.
That's who that was.
The best player never drafted. So if you give me a little build-up, I would have thrown that quote up there. That would have been a great quote.
Well, I figured if I threw the Naismith thing out there, that it might have a little value. Steve, pop the music down quickly.
Okay.
Once he starts talking.
Welcome back to Place Your Bet, everybody. This segment is brought to you by the American Business Trust Company, helping your company with business strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, and the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. Visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com. Or call 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. Yes!
That was by the Schmitzigal.
The Schmitzigal did that promo?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. The Schmitzigal. How's the Schmitzigal doing tonight against San Jose?
It's 1-0 Vegas. I don't know how Schmidt in particular is playing, but the Knights are playing pretty good. A lot of offensive zone action for the Knights.
Statmaster Steve is back with us tonight. We haven't
Welcome
had
back,
you for
Steve.
a while.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We missed you. I've been pouring over all of our podcasts over the last few days, and you're on them, contributing a lot of good material.
Thank you.
Even though I noticed and
He referenced you yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
He called somebody a nothing burger.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Who did I call a nothing burger? I forget. It was toward the end of the show.
It was hilarious.
But
though.
I did notice, Steve, that you're not a big fan, like Sal, you're not a big fan of the gong of approval, and I don't appreciate that. You got to start coming around.
You want me to play it right now?
Yeah, give me a gong of approval on this
Okay.
side.
I think that's worthy of a gong of approval.
There we go.
When you have
I
to
love
ask
that.
for a gong
I
of
love
approval, Something tells me
Listen,
you
buddy,
might be insecure
buddy,
about the gong.
You don't have to comment on the gong of approval ever
commented.
again. You just let
commented.
it go. You just keep it zipped there, friend, when they're talking about the gong of approval.
Yeah, I'll see you
I'm just
outside.
not as familiar with the sound effects machine as you are. Tommy, you're now the master of the sound effects machine.
Yeah, no, I'm
we got him a job with the
still
bait
do
and tackle shop being that.
I still do the. I still got the kung fu delay or whatever he calls it.
Right,
but
right. Well,
yeah,
it's
no,
the
I
Kung Fu
enjoy it.
Oh no, it's a tie game.
I enjoy it.
Come on, you stupid sharks.
Couple good teams, man. Couple good teams. The second and third ranked team in the Western Conference. Couple good teams, right?
Yeah, I mean that was our conference semifinals.
And the Sharks are motivated. They lost the series in the playoffs last year.
They got hammered in
beat
game
6-0 earlier this year, and it's the dad's trip for San Jose. So all their dads are in the stadium.
The dad's trip. There's one trip where they bring their dads.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I hope their dads go home sad. Is that bad?
I hope they do
Hey, you're
too.
a poet, you didn't know it.
But you want to know stats? The dad's trip is like 22-4 or something like that.
They're
Right.
that good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
When you bring your dads, the teams play.
You're right.
Do all the teams bring their dads, or just the San Jose thing?
No, it started like 5 years ago with Trotz when he was in Nashville. The Predators weren't playing so well at that time, and he thought it'd be good to get some family camaraderie, and so he brought the dads on a short 2-game road trip that Nashville was having, and they won, and so now Nashville kept it going, and then teams around the league picked up. Now everybody does it. So we look for a short 2-game road trip. That's going to be a dad's trip.
Okay, give yourself an applause break there because Steve and Sal are both huge hockey guys. And you guys, when we talk hockey in here, you guys you put such a great light on the game because you know so many behind-the-scenes
Yeah, but
things.
Steve's got years and years
Steve,
of
you're great with
experience.
hockey, yes.
That's why I call him Statomatic and Statmaster Steve.
I'd like to call our hockey segment, I like to officially call it the Devin Dubnyk segment.
You know, he's
I
just
love
hung
it.
up on Devin
I love
Dubnyk.
it.
You know what it is?
Can
He's
we
got a
just go-
man crush on Devin
I don't even know who he is. All I know is he brings up the guy's name.
I brought it up one time.
So I'd like to call us our Devin Dubnyk segment. Okay, can we do that?
One
I don't know who he
whatever
is.
you want.
He plays for the what? The
He plays
the
for
Wild?
the Minnesota Wild. Yeah,
He plays for the Wild.
He's their
okay.
goaltender.
He's their goalie.
6'6".
I thought he was a player. I didn't know he was a goalie.
Well,
so he's a big
goalies are players.
I didn't know he was a player. He's between the pipes.
He's a goalie.
He's the
Yeah.
German Shepherd on the team, right?
So Dubnyk is their goalie.
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
better yet,
He's
from
like
now
nine,
on,
he's like 9'12".
from now on, when I refer to the Dubnyk segment, that's we're going to hockey.
All right.
All right.
Noted.
Segment.
Listen, just go with it. Can you
All
just
right,
go
all right,
with some
all
stuff?
right, all right, I'll go
Everything
with it.
is a resistance. Sal's got his heels dug in most of the time.
I kind
The
of like
gong
the
of approval-
Dubnyk segment.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, look at this guy.
Thank
What
you.
about the Nate Schmidt segment?
Thank
the
you.
Schmidt-Skull
No,
segment.
Spitzsickle is also very strong.
Now, I just
Double gong.
Nice. And gong you too.
he's gong happy.
All right. Hey, keep your hand off that gong.
I want to.
All of a sudden,
I
I've
just
turned
want
into
to
Chuck
take
Barris.
issue. I want to take issue here with Tuzzolino. He brings on our first guest here for the show because I've been asking for a guest, and that was actually done very smoothly. Brought on an excellent guest, just a professional, very smooth talking,
And a
very-
basketball guy.
A basketball guy. But of course, you bring him on. You bring the one guy on who from the sport that I've been saying stinks. So now that's how I start out talking about our very first guest. Now, this guy was a classy guy. He was a great player in the late 90s.
He's a ridiculous player. Two-time NCAA player of the year.
And so who's he talk to? The first guy he talks to is Tommy T, who says, Sal goes, Tommy, now tell us why you think college basketball stinks. I mean, what am I supposed
It
to
was
do?
set up nice.
Set me up, man.
Is it just college basketball that you don't like, or do you also not so much like the NBA?
No, I love basketball. I love the NBA, but I'm a little down on the
He
NBA
doesn't like
this year
badminton.
myself.
Here's
Yes.
the problem that I
Right.
have with basketball nowadays, college and pro. These guys take 12 steps going to the hoop. They change their pivot foot. The guy's down in the lower, throwing elbows, right?
Right.
No calls. If you if you touch a guy on the hip up top, that's a foul.
Yeah.
So
No, the
I
rules-
don't understand.
Well, the game is different than
Right.
it was in the 80s.
The
for sure.
LeBrick clear out with the hand and
No,
with
he
the
doesn't.
elbow.
Listen, I've challenged you.
He
I've
always
challenged you
clips.
several
He's always
times to give
clearing
me
it out.
clips.
I'll
You
get
don't
the
have,
video.
you have nothing. I challenged you weeks
No,
ago
I
to
just
give me
haven't
videos.
presented you with a
Show
video.
Me. Show
Oh,
me
oh,
6.
I got plenty.
I need 6 clips of him clearing out.
I could do
Show
that
me.
all day. No problem. I just got to have the time to do it,
Well,
but I can
you
do
make
it. There's
time,
no question.
buddy.
Listen, Jack.
Drop your cartoons and drop your roller coaster rides.
You
and make
leave my
time to get
cartoons
the
and roller
LeBrick.
coaster and train rides out of this.
Because he goes after LeBrick too much, and he's got me calling him LeBrick, and it's ridiculous.
Because all he does is clear out with his elbow. He
That's
pork
not
chops
true.
everybody.
You're
Right or
full
wrong,
of it.
Steve?
I agree with you. I'm not a big
Yes!
LeBrick fan either. He's
Yes!
not the only guy that does that. But he might be the poster
We're
child
just
for it.
referring.
Yeah.
Yes, he is certainly the poster child
You
for
guys.
it.
And the other
he
thing that they do
cries.
is they carry the ball now.
Right.
And
Palm the ball.
Jordan, who I loved, he was the guy who started that. They let Jordan get away with carrying the ball,
God,
and now
yes.
everybody does it.
Yeah, Jordan changed the rule.
Well,
They had to change the rules because of Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I was just talking to someone earlier today. A lot of people don't realize for the bulk of the 90s, Jordan and Pippen were the two best defensive players in the NBA.
Right.
Correct.
The two best.
Yeah.
And then once Pippen developed
Right, it was the glove and the mitten.
Once Pippen developed, once Pippen had a fully developed offensive game, they were unstoppable because Pippen he didn't come into the league with a great offensive game, but once he developed that three, and Pippen was the second best player in the
Scotty
game.
could dribble drive. I mean, he was big enough.
There was a 5 or 6 year period where he
Right.
was the number 2 player in the game.
Right. Yeah.
So he had the 2 best players in the game. That's why they won 6 championships. And then, after they were done, the Lakers ended up with two best players in the game, and they won 5 championships.
Yeah.
When you get the 2 best players in the game, you could put a German Shepherd and Sal and me in the backcourt, and you could win.
is it possible that Golden State now has the two best players in the game?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
possible.
And here
yes.
we are with the same thing. Because
Yeah.
the only team that can beat Golden State is Golden State.
Well,
That's
they're-
right. Absolutely right.
They're beating
Yeah.
themselves.
That's
that
it.
doesn't sound good.
There he goes again.
Sal gets
He's
a goal.
dog happy.
Beating themselves.
You're killing me.
Can we talk? But listen, can we talk NFL? Though I'd like to get into some serious
Sure.
NFL talk at some point today. I haven't talked to you for a long time.
Let's talk
about
NFL.
where we're at with the playoffs, and I'm a little excited. First of all, the Coliseum is hosting another playoff game, and I feel like this is back in the '70s again. You know, and
I like the
I'm
fans. I like the fact that the Rams are using the white.
Yeah, well,
The old
they're
60
getting.
I like that.
Yeah, they're
That
getting
is
the old
nice.
school uniforms,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then this game is going to have the look of a '70s game. Apparently, the Rams are wearing their blue jerseys with the yellow stripe, and the Cowboys are wearing their traditional white.
The Cowboys are wearing
Yeah.
their leather hats and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so this game is going to have a lot. It's going to look like a throwback.
You're going to see Ed Too
playoff
Tall
game.
Jones come on the sidelines.
Here's
Do
my
I-
question for you, Tommy, since you want to talk about NFL. Do you trust Dak Prescott to play another game like he played against Seattle?
Yeah,
do you,
I do.
Do you trust him to play that
Yeah,
game
I
2
do
games in a
because
row?
he
I
plays
don't.
like that. He plays like that often. Like he plays like that in big games often. In fact, he's played 2 playoff games. He's had 2 great playoff games. This is his first playoff game on the road. Now, I'm not a huge Dak fan. I don't think he's top 5. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but he's had 2 playoff games against 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and he outplayed both of them. Or he went throw for throw at Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago.
Okay.
So Dak has not embarrassed himself in the playoffs. Now he's got issues. He stays in the pocket.
Definitely.
He stays in the pocket long,
Right.
Against Aaron Donald and Sue, that might not work. And also they have Dante Fowler now. They have some outside blitzers, and they got Wade Phillips as the defensive coordinator. So he could have problems in this game.
Well, they're going to contain. They're not going to let him get outside the pocket either because they don't want him to beat them on his feet.
Yes.
They're going to keep him in the
Probably.
pocket. They're going to double Amari Cooper, and they're going to say, fine, everybody else, we'll go man coverage on you.
Yes, but I mean, just in general, that general answer to your question is he's done nothing to embarrass himself in the playoffs. The
Okay.
big games, he's played well.
All right.
You can't say otherwise.
Okay, that's fine. I just know that as I watch him game to game, and maybe it's regular season games that I'm seeing this, I don't trust him to not make a mistake at a big moment that costs the Cowboys. That's what I see out of this guy.
Again, though, he's played 2 playoff games and he hasn't made big mistakes. He's played well.
Okay.
So, and he played well in the latter part of the year. I mean, he won that Giants game. A lot of people think that Giants game meant nothing, but it had a lot to do with them winning the game in Seattle. Finishing that game the way he did in that Giants game, he played fantastic in that game. So.
I was shocked that he played as well as he did against Seattle.
Well,
I just thought
but
he would
don't
make
you
a
remember
mistake.
the game he played against Green Bay 2 years ago? He threw for 300 yards. He played a fantastic game against Aaron Rodgers, and they were
Honestly,
down
I do not.
21-3. So he brought them back from a 21-3 deficit. So I mean, you shouldn't have been shocked if you've been really following this guy. He's got a lot of problems, but you shouldn't be shocked at him coming up in big games. And they've said like the scouting report on Dak coming in the NFL was that he's a terrible practice player. He's a gamer. When the big lights are on, he comes through. Now again, he's not a top quarterback,
Right.
but But if he keeps playing like that, the Cowboys are going to have a chance.
Okay, well, think about this. Now, define what a top quarterback is. Is a top quarterback the guy that's going to roll out and run and get you 10 yards, and he's going to look, and there's a reason I'm talking about this. Maybe he'll hit his first guy. If not, what is he going to do? He's going to run and get you 10. Or is he going to look at option 1, 2, 3, and maybe his run is maybe his third or fourth option. Maybe it's a quarterback draw. You never know. This is a guy that's big enough to do everything, and I argue that Dak Prescott is one of the better quarterbacks left in the playoffs today.
Okay, so now Sal brings up a different point than I was thinking of. When I was talking top quarterback, I was actually comparing him to players. But he's right, though. He's talking about what kind of progressions a quarterback goes through and, looking at your third options and pulling it down and running. He's been on Dak. He thinks that Dak has a good, lay of the land when he's back there. But I was talking about putting him in a category with, the big 3 or 4 with obviously Breeze, Rodgers, and Brady's not there. But even now the new guys like Mahomes, Russell Wilson. I thought Russell Wilson played a great game.
He did play a great game.
He kept him in that game. He had some long completions, but he was throwing beautiful 30-yard passes right on the money. And I don't think Dak's in that category. So I put him down below those guys.
So let me ask you this. If Janikowski stays healthy, does Seattle win that game?
No, I don't. Okay. I mean, now Sal and I had Sal was right. It changed the strategy of the game. But luckily for them, it benefited them because they scored 2 touchdowns. They had to go for it on 4th down on a couple occasions, and they made it because they didn't have the field goal opportunity. They ended up with 16 points after he got injured. The only thing it changed was they had that onside kick was ridiculous.
Right.
That was, Janikowski would have given them a chance to recover that onside kick. But, I thought that when he went down, my thought was, well, that's what you get for having a fat old kicker. I'm sorry, but that's what you get. You shouldn't be shocked that he blows his hamstring out,
On the one hand, it's true, and on the other hand, the old adage is you can't pull fat. So how did he injure himself?
That's great.
That's funny stuff.
That's great.
Hey, let's open up the phone lines if anyone wants to call in. 702-221-7283. That's 702-221-7283. Again, 702-221-7283. Hey, don't worry about that.
Setting me up again.
Let somebody call in. Let them participate. We've already taken a call today. We're on a roll. Let's take our second call.
Keep going.
Let's see it. We've had other calls. You just couldn't figure out how to patch them through.
We haven't had one call.
Yes, we have.
Who called?
We had Mike from Paducah call.
Mike's a liar.
No, we had.
We have not had a call. Mike's a liar.
Mike from Paducah?
No,
No, his name is Mike Paducah, and he happens to live in Paducah. No, go figure that.
So he owns the town?
Yeah, he moved there because they had the same name.
Vinny Boombots called from New York.
I thought it was Vinny Boots.
No, Joey Bag of Donuts called from Brooklyn, too. We just missed the call.
Isn't it Dr. Boombots?
Yeah, Dr. Vinny Boombots. Yeah, that's Rodney Dangerfield's doctor, of course.
I want to go back 3 or 4 weeks to our show. I just want now I'm thinking back. I think Sal had a mafia don in this chair earlier in the year.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about that guy.
You know why I know that Sal had a mafia guy here? Because every time I bring the guy up, the only thing Sal ever says is, don't worry about that guy. We had a guy from Brooklyn. He was like 65, 70 years old.
He was from Sicily.
He didn't say nothing. And Sal just keeps going, don't worry about him. Just don't worry about it.
That's right. All right.
Magically, we have a caller on the line.
All right, who's with us?
How you doing? Hello. Turn the radio down. Turn the radio down, please.
Go ahead. It's down.
All right. Identify yourself.
This is Mike from Paducah.
Hey! Give him a big round of applause. Mike from Paducah, call us.
Tell Tommy T there I ain't no liar.
He's no liar, he says.
No, I didn't think you were a liar, Mike, but you weren't supposed to be calling in after I said that.
Hey, maybe he said maybe he's a mafia don or something. That's what he just said.
I tried calling a million times, man, but you guys didn't know how to do it.
No, this guy over here, Tommy, doesn't know how to work the phone over there. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, I don't know.
No, is that Steve's over there now?
Yeah, I'm over here now.
That's a Statmaster Steve.
On the wall behind you, there's a thumbtack or something that's been driving me nuts every single time I watch the show.
Seriously? So you're focused on the thumbtack. What? Don't worry about that.
Where's the thumbtack?
It's behind him on the wall there.
It's by itself over there. I just want to know.
Right. I'm watching Tommy, and it's driving me nuts.
All right. So listen, is that driving you nuts, or is the fact that you haven't been betting with us, is that driving you nuts?
Actually, I have, but the couple of losses you had, that's when I bet with you.
Of course, find this guy.
My friend, too, that did that, too. My friend he bet a few games with us, but the one game was when we had Nebraska and Illinois under, and then went way over.
Whatever, yeah.
Like one of the ones, Sal's got 4 losses since November 5th. And you pick one, and my friend Marty picks the other.
That's unbelievable.
That's my luck. That's why I say, I better not bet anything that Sal says, or he's going to end up with a bunch more losers.
All right. Well, guess what? All you get if you were betting with us every game, you'd be at 42-4, and buddy, you'd be cashing tickets. That's what I know. So listen, we're going to be going to a break in about 30 seconds. You're over there in Paducah. You could stay on the line. You want to carry him over? What do you think?
Yeah. Hang on, Mike. We'll talk to you on the other side, okay?
Okay. Well, let's keep him on. And folks, we're going to be back here in just a couple of minutes. It's a short break here at Place Your Bet. Make sure you check out in the break time. Go to placeyourbet.vegas, and guess what? A lot of good information there. Bios on Tommy and myself, and also the big pile of money. Back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
They're all living the devil may care.
You're just making the sports circus too. This is the sports circus too, which is
It's
great.
fun.
It's
fun.
Sports circus too. Guys calling in. Steve's here. It's fun.
It's a neighborhood show, right?
Yeah, it's great that we have Mike. I just love to say Paducah.
I know, really.
It's a fun word.
You get a name. You get a young lady, and you just call her Patty Paducah.
Patty Paducah. What does that mean, Patty Paducah?
I don't know. It's a fictional character, like Vinny Bobots. You have to find out if he's dating.
That was good
see
stuff
if
about
he's
Dak.
dating.
See, that was good stuff from Dak Prescott. Like, first of all,
See
you
if
said
he's
you don't trust him, and then you let me lay out all the things about him, and then he comes in with a different analysis. But I mean, it's hard to right now. It's really hard to go against the guy, even though he's not top 10. You know, it's unlocked. There's guys outside.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That means they can come and go.
Oh, yeah. The door's unlocked. That's usually what it means if the door's unlocked. Yeah.
But I mean, the guys outside is the guys that he knows are just
No,
weird
it's the guys that come in next. Yeah, remember they have like 400 people that come in here?
Okay.
Remember last time they had to knock this wall down. Folks, this wall had to come down. They built grandstands.
You want me to hold that for a little bit now?
No.
So 20 seconds, then we're doing the Tony Bennett.
No, you can hold your own.
Stop with the fucking masturbation implications.
But hey,
Leave the
get
card
your-
of approval the way it is.
Get your mind out of the
Your
gutter.
mind is where your mind
Hey,
is.
don't worry.
Relax.
I didn't say anything about
Where's
that.
your chocolate bar? Where's your chocolate bar?
Don't worry about that. I got it right here. This guy. He got me a great chocolate bar. Yes!
I come in with a chocolate bar, and the first thing Sal says to me is, "Attaboy."
Yes! All right. Okay, welcome back to Place Your Bet. I'm Sal the Bookmaker. This segment is brought to you by Kelly Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help you with everything you need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic every day and host your very own talk show in your very own studio. Call Kelly Vegas right now at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them at kellyvegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And tell them Place Your Bet sent you.
Yes!
Do it again.
Yes!
All right. It's growing at everybody.
Okay.
Steve, it's your turn.
Paducah, back on the line.
Hey, I got a couple
on the
questions.
line.
I got a couple questions for Mike. First of all,
Yeah.
Mike, Paducah, Kentucky, where is it in relation to Lexington? Where is it in relation to Louisville?
Until the quarter. It's at the
Well,
corner of the
we're
earth.
I know
We're
you
west.
know. Say again.
We're west. We're just it's near Illinois, actually. Closer
Okay,
to the
and
Illinois border.
is Louisville in the western part of the state?
Sort of. It's
Okay.
I think it's a couple hours to the east of us.
Okay, and what university is in Paducah?
I don't know anything about it. I'm actually in Marion. It just shows up as Paducah.
Okay.
Derek, he's on there watching you guys. He says Murray State's close to Paducah.
Right, the racers are over there.
I believe
Okay.
it's Paducah University, good old PU.
I thought it was a School of Hard Knocks was over there.
That's good. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it is.
Mike, what are you doing? What are you doing in Kentucky? Because you're from Illinois, right? Are you from Chicago
Yeah.
area? So what are you doing down
Chicago
there?
itself. My mother moved down here to help out my grandmother and her sister, and they passed away, and Mom stayed down here, and she's 89 now, so she needs help.
So you're taking care of your mom.
Wow.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, good man. Good for you. That's
halfway to 178. That's a big number.
That's a wonderful thing for anyone to be able to go and take care of their parents.
Boy, give him a big round of applause.
That's great.
Hats off.
That's great for you.
My
there
sister.
You go. Gong of approval.
Hey, give a gong, he says.
Mike likes the gong of approval.
All right, here we go.
Powerhouse Paducah Community College.
There you go.
Derek says the powerhouse is Paducah Community College.
Okay.
That's what's going on down there. And folks, in case you're wondering why are we talking about this, because we're also streaming it live on Facebook.
Okay, a couple more questions for Mike. Mike, how long have you known Sal?
Oh, God.
Don't worry about that.
64 years? No, that's,
I'm not 64 years old. I'm 24.
I've known him all his life.
You've known Sal, so you guys grew up together?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Listen,
yeah.
He's a guy from the neighborhood. Don't worry about him.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. So, what I'm getting at is, Mike, you know Sal. Sal, he'll climb on top of you. He'll dominate you, right? Sal's a dominating personality, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can tell that just watching you and him go.
Yeah, no, Sal kicks my ass on a daily basis.
But it's funny.
Yeah, okay, good.
Makes a great joke.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Well, he's got his friends watching down there, too.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. No,
even the guys at the bowling alley.
Listen, the show was Sal's idea. He named it. He dominates the show with his picks. He's the best handicapper in the country. I think I'm very safe to say that because the numbers hold up. He's 42-4. So this is he's running the show here. Look, I'm just along for the ride. I'm doing what I can here. But believe me, he kicks me, punches me, elbows me the whole time during the show.
Hey, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. That's all.
Okay. All right. Very good. So,
well, you better watch out there, Tommy, because Steve might take your job.
Yes,
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Steve, but let me tell you something. Steve could take my job in a second. All he has to do is just speak up, raise his hand, and go, "Look, I want it." I mean, Steve's an accomplished professional.
How many years have you been doing this one?
30,
40?
Geez. It's been a long time, yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
About the Bears, because obviously I'm a big Bears fan. I don't know a lot like you guys know, but they said Fangio's leaving. He's
gone, buddy.
Yeah, it's official. He took the job in Denver. So actually, that's a good thing you bring up. So Sal, who replaces Fangio there? Is there someone already on staff, or do they have to go outside and get somebody?
The word has it from back home is that Nagy already has his guys. It didn't really matter if Fangio was gone or not. It doesn't matter.
Well, who are the guys?
I don't know who they are. I don't know.
Okay, so. Sal's the only guy I know that says Nagy's got his guys, but I got no idea.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I don't know.
It's great, right?
Like when he went Fangio.
Fangio.
Hey, Oyo. ¿Cómo está?
Yeah, that's going to affect it. My guess is that's going to affect the team. I don't think that, they already have a great defense. And, they should have another good defense next year. But, yeah, I mean, you miss your defensive coordinator. He's one of the best in the business. I think that it has to affect the team. And the other thing is, I feel bad for Mr. Fangio because he's leaving on a bad note. I mean, they had the lead 15-10, and the Eagles had to drive the length of the field, and the Bears couldn't stop them. I mean, that was the strength of their team. And they played a great game. They had a great year. But the last 4 minutes of that game, I think the defense let the team down. And I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, I think the entire city is let down from that.
And, I was
getting ribbed about it all the time at the bowling alley now because of that.
Okay, but guys, remember this. I mean, if you look at the Bears' record at 12-4, how many of those 12 games, they were kind of lucky wins? I'm just being honest. Look, I'm a Bears guy as well.
And 3 of the losses, they could have won.
Right.
They should have never lost. We already talked about the first game.
Right. But
they shouldn't have lost to the Giants either.
But look, the idea is they're not ready offensively. Defensively, yeah. Right. Offensively, they are not ready. Trubisky doesn't have his game down. He needs another season of reps, I think, to really have this team as a real contender. Go ahead, Tommy.
Okay, I have something about that. Like Sal brings up a great point, and we were talking earlier about the Rams game on Saturday night. The Cowboys they've won 8 games by less than 1 score. Like less than 7 points. That's going to catch up to them like the Bears. I think even this next game, I think if this is a close game, I think this ends the Cowboys' streak of winning these close games because these teams have to start blowing teams out when they can.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's not going to be a close game, Tommy. I think that if the Rams score first, I think it's big as to how the Gurley comes out for the Rams. He had the last 2 games of the regular season off and then last week off. He could be rusty. And if he doesn't come out strong and they sputter a little bit, the Cowboys will be in this game. If the Rams come out and score right away, very quickly, go down the field, I think the Cowboys have no chance. They're not a comeback team.
No, they're not, but they have a good defense. The other thing about Gurley is, true, he could be rusty. He also could be hurt. He could be legitimately hurt. We don't know if he's 100%. I mean, they rested him essentially a month.
Correct.
So
Guys,
we don't know.
I think we should be taking a look at, when it comes to the proposition bets in this game, I would take a good look at the over and under on interceptions, total interceptions in this game. I think the over and under is going to be 2.5 on that.
Okay, I have something to add to that. First of all, the Cowboys, they don't intercept people. They're a very good defensive team. That guy, Byron Jones, had an all-pro season, has 0 interceptions. And the other guy, Wouzier, he's always on his guy, but he can't seem to get his head turned around. So I don't think the Cowboys are going to intercept Goff the way the Bears did. The Bears pick off everything.
Right, but where I'm going with this is when you have a desperate Dak Prescott, when he's playing from behind, he's going to try to force the ball in, force it to Cooper, force it to Beasley, and there it is. There's your pick, maybe your late game pick, and you go from 2 to 3 picks in the game. I think there's going to be 3 picks in this game.
Okay, you mostly by Prescott?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. I just think there's going to be. I think there's going to be 2 to 3 picks, and the over and under on that should be 2.5.
That's very possible.
Steve, what do you think?
Here's the thing.
Well, I could see it, Sal. I think you make a valid point, but I also agree with what Tommy said in that the Cowboys are not really an interception team, as good as their defense is.
They play tight defense, but they don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, but how much pressure are they going to put on Jared Goff when they double team Donald? What's going to happen? We saw the Bears triple team Donald. And so now Goff was throwing picks. He was throwing INTs. Here's my point. So Goff will make bad throws when there's pressure put on him. We've seen this. This is not the first time in the rodeo.
No.
And so what I'm saying is he might have 1 pick. He may have 1 himself, and I think maybe 1 or 2 on the other side.
Yeah, I honestly think Sean McVay is going to have his finest hour in this game. I think he's going to get the ball out of Goff's hands very quickly in this game. You know, a lot of the short passing, trying to set up those screens, not just with the running back, but those tight end screens. I don't think that he's going to depend on Goff a lot like he has been the latter part of the year because Goff has struggled with the pass rush.
Right, but there could be 1 in there. All I'm looking for is 1 from him, maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, and Dak Prescott at least 1 and 2 or 2 and 2.
I see. No,
that's
you're
where
right.
I'm going with this.
I see that. I see that playing out. But here's the thing. If that game is close at halftime, then it goes down to the wire.
Yeah.
If that game is 10-10, 14-13, if it's a game at halftime, it goes down to the wire because what's going to happen is the Cowboys can instill their will on you in the second half with the offensive line and the running game, and then it's going to be who makes the play at the end of the game. Now, unfortunately for the Cowboys, the Rams kicker isn't 48 years old and 320 pounds, so he's going to be available for the end of that game.
What are you referring to, Tommy?
That Janikowski shouldn't be in the league.
Hey, why not? Listen, if that guy could chew up a pizza on the sideline and get out there and kick, there's nothing wrong with that. You let him have his pizza and let him kick the ball. It doesn't matter.
You mentioned Donald, Sal, and I think that's a great point. Do you think, now I would do this if I was the Cowboys, I would run at Donald and wear him down throughout the game and take him out of the game if you can.
Well, what I've been reading
Give yourself
is
a round of applause. That's an excellent comment.
thank you.
Well, there's the Kung Fu applause. Here it comes.
There it is. Listen, what I've been reading, Steve, is that Donald and Sue, they shoot gaps. They get up the field very quickly. That's how Donald's gotten 20 sacks plus, 20 and a half sacks this season. So yeah, can the Cowboys use their up the field pursuit against them? And which is the trap play.
Right. Underneath.
I don't know if the Cowboys run a lot of trap plays, but the trap play is basically you don't block Donald, you let him into the backfield, and then you trap him, which has got to be very hard to do because he's so good and so quick. But I was thinking run away from him. I was thinking have him chase the backside of a play down. I'll jump on that one.
I think he's good at that, though. I think the way
I think you're playing into his strength by doing that.
Running away from him.
Yeah, if
he's got closing speed.
The better players on the defensive line, I think you want to go at them, not away from them.
Okay.
Because if you can put 2, maybe 3 offensive linemen on him, and you pick up a stray guy along the line as they're going at Donald, I think throughout the game, again, you're wearing him down.
And remember, the Bears ran basically 3 guys at him between Howard, Cohen, and Trubisky. And they had 3 guys on Donald at the same time.
Well,
and eventually, what happened? The Bears wore him down.
That's a great point.
He was a non-factor.
Do they make Dak Prescott a running back in this game? Because they did against the Seahawks.
They're going to have to eat the clock. They have to eat the clock.
But there was a couple design runs for Dak that we haven't seen. There was the quarterback draw, which got that big first down at the end, but there was a couple sweeps where Dak actually had Ezekiel Elliott blocking for him. So do the Cowboys set up a couple of quarterback sweeps to take advantage of that?
I would have some quarterback sweeps set up for him and a couple of run plays in the offense.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think you're going to see the naked bootlegs, but I do think you're going to see somebody out in front to take somebody out, and he's going to get his 5-6 yards.
Yeah, and some run pass option stuff too,
Yeah.
right? Where he could run it himself. He could give it to Zeke. He could throw a short pass on the same play.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know what the Rams are going to do? The Rams are going to probably sack the box. You're going to see 7-8 guys right up on that line saying, "Okay, you're going to have to get it over our first layer just to have any success." And so they're going to dare him to throw it downfield. The problem is you got a great receiver in Amari Cooper.
You do.
And the go-to guy in this game, it could be Beasley.
Yeah, he's a little hobbled with the ankle, but I'm sure he's going to get a big needle in that ankle before the game, right?
I'm sure he will.
Big needle.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if he gets stepped on, he got stepped on last game, and he was,
the first series
he had
of the
trouble.
game.
He had trouble getting around.
But
Boy,
he's a professional receiver. He'll figure it out.
If they do stack the box, Sal, I would throw one deep, and I don't even care if I complete it. You've got to loosen them up.
That's right. You're going to have to push them back off the line. Once they push them back off the line, student body left, student body right. Here we go.
This is one of those games. One of the problems with this game is the Cowboys are the kind of team that want an 8 to 10 to 12 play drive to eat up clock.
Yeah.
And the Rams can score in 3 plays.
Right.
And that happens sometimes. The Cowboys will keep the ball for 7 minutes, get a field goal, and 2 plays the Rams score a touchdown. So,
and that's fine because what will happen is the Rams defense is going to get tired for being on because they're going to score too quick. And what's going to happen is the Rams
that
defense.
happens. You're right.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
happens.
As Dallas wears the defense down, eventually when it comes late in the third and fourth quarter, they're just going to keep ramming it down the throat. A little smash mouth football.
How are we doing, Paducah? You agree with any of this?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm soaking it all in, man.
Are you taking notes? That's what I want to know.
Well, I can't take notes. You're talking too fast, but I'm listening.
Well-
I kind of like with Tommy. I like Dak, but I like what you said, Sal, at a previous show about if the Rams score, they're going to score fast. They get up to a good lead. Dallas is done.
Well, the good news is if you missed anything, you can always go to our podcast on placeyourbet.vegas. It's right at the top of the page. As soon as you go there, there's a link to podcast, and you can listen to all of our episodes from the very beginning. Count the winners if you don't believe us, but you can play it over and over. And you can also watch the videos on Facebook Live and on YouTube. At the bottom of the page, there is a link for YouTube as well.
Sal is a maniac. Sal the Bookmaker.
I'm going to get off here and let you guys talk.
Okay, well, thanks. Listen, thanks for calling, Mike. And I know that this is
Thanks
the
for
first
having me,
time you
man.
dialed the number. I know you have never called before.
And thanks for getting off.
Thanks.
All right. All right, you have fun, and here we go. Go ahead,
You're the
Tommy.
best and the worst all at the same time.
Can we get your mind? Can your mind ever come out of the gutter?
He just
No,
said,
it's-
I'm getting off.
It's connected to his body. How can it get out of the
He
gutter?
just said, and the phone just hung up. It's perfect. Where's your mind, mister?
What did Stevie Slapshot say a couple months ago? Sophomoric,
Yeah.
right? Sophomoric sense of humor. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Sal's a big kid. You know how many times, Steve, I come to work before our 8 o'clock show, and I come into Sal's office in the back, and all the lights are off, and the computer screen's on, and this is what he's watched over the last month. Rodney Dangerfield,
Okay.
one of the greatest ever.
Yes.
Right? The Three Stooges.
Right.
Right? Hockey brawls. Great hockey brawls. And then the other day, he was on a roller coaster.
Well, that is just excellent
And
show
yesterday,
prep.
Well,
Sal.
and yesterday I had the steam engines. I know, you hear the
I
steam
didn't
whistles.
see yesterday.
It was
but-
incredible.
But last week, I
drove a locomotive once. That's
Listen,
why.
I come in
Yes.
and I look at his computer screen, and it was a roller coaster. It was the old wooden roller coaster. It wasn't the Colossus, but it looked like the Colossus from Magic Mountain because I've been on it a million times.
Right, same
and
here.
so it was a point of view on the roller coaster in the front car, and he had headphones on, and Sal's doing this.
Well, I've got my face really close
He's
to the
riding
screen.
a roller coaster. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm just getting ready.
What's wrong with that?
You got to loosen up before you do the show,
Sounds
Tommy.
like a big kid.
That's
He's
awesome.
a
So I
overgrown
walk in,
kid.
and what does Tommy do? Tommy brings me a candy bar. Yes,
Yeah, I
for
bring
the
him-
big
I
kid.
bring him candy bars. So yesterday I'm leaving the show. He's outside talking to 2 hockey guys the other day. He's outside talking to. I'm watching him as I'm backing out. And I'm like, look at this. Sal's like 18 years old. He's just talking to his buddies. He's a constant. It's great. You're in a perfect business for you. You dominate this business right now. Give the bookmaker a round of applause.
Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. I had the gong pulled up. We don't want to gong him. We want
He
to
hates the
applaud
gong.
him.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, listen. We got about a minute left.
Okay.
What do you want to close up with?
Well, I don't. Let's.
And I'm not saying close your bag, but what do you want to close up with?
I want to thank Rashad Phillips calling in from Detroit Mercy and what is it, the 2319?
Yeah.
Sports Talk 2319. That was an excellent caller we had today. Very, very distinguished and great ex-player from
a Naismith winner and
Francis Pomeroy Naismith, 2-time award winner, and the MCC Player of the Year 2 times.
Right.
So that was our first call, and then we had Mike from Paducah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thanks for joining us, Mike, and for Stevie Slapshot. Great having you with us, folks. Make sure you check out PlaceYourBet.Vegas. All of the characters, the pile of money, and we'll be back tomorrow right here on your favorite channel. So long, everyone.
Ralph Shirocco hosts radio.
That was perfect time. All right, Steve, can you send that to us real quick?
That was fun.
Could we send the email to us real quick?
Yeah.
All right, let me kill this. And boom.